have that level of transparency, you will not see substandard products out there. So I don't think we can change the city through e-governance. We can enable a bunch of systems that can get data moving back and forth, and people will empower themselves and change the city, hopefully. Public grievance and redressal, we have some very interesting numbers. Many of you are probably from Delhi, and I will show you some data from the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Our public grievance module is running in some 60 cities across the country. Our financial accounting package, accrual-based accounting, is running in some 75 cities now. And then we have a host of other products. I just don't want to go into all the details: inventory management, asset control, asset management, birth and death registration and certification. And now we're actually building a payroll product, because payroll also happens to be a large expenditure of the city. Just to give you an example, Municipal Corporation of Delhi has 150,000 employees, and 60% of the revenues go into paying salaries. We are in right now, like I said, about 75 cities. We are in about 5 states today. As you see, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu just starting up in Tamil Nadu. We are in Delhi, and we have a project in Haryana as well. We have done quite a bit of the GIS work, and in fact, I'm going to try not to repeat what the earlier speakers spoke about, but I think the points that Swati made is absolutely right. GIS is definitely the way to go. Understanding the lay of the land, spatial data, certainly helps in visual decision making. And we have examples of products where I will show you where you will figure out why it is better to use GIS. If you look at the flow of money, the green line, from on top you have property tax, water tax, and so on. You have a financial accounting product in the middle, and then you have expenditure items like payroll, ward works, health, and education, and so on. So if at a bare minimum, when we do workshops in states and cities, we tell them, if you can get your property tax management system e-governance enabled, if you will, with GIS, if you can get an accrual-based accounting system that tracks every paisa that goes in and out, and if you take care of your top expenditures, ward works and payroll, you are in pretty good shape. From a point of view of priorities. Right? And of course, you have a lot of other things. We have an asset management tool with GIS support that depreciates and does all these sophisticated things, and public grievance and birth and death and so on. But to a large extent, if you can go with the trail of money, your biggest revenue, your accounting system, your biggest expenditures, you're 70% there. And in fact, that's what we keep suggesting. Start with those, and then you can do all the other things. And while I'm at that, I'd like to say, a lot of times, governments run off on this gizmo trail of PDAs and digital signatures and all those things. They have little bearing to the problem that our urban local bodies face. We have poor data. We have poor processes. Our record keeping is poor. If we don't improve that data, no amount of mobile technology or PDA technology will improve our lot. What are you going to connect to? Your server doesn't have good data. So until we fix that, I don't think we ought to be looking for gizmos for solutions, because they're not going to get us very far. The next point is bringing internal efficiencies using these systems in itself will not solve the problem. The city might function a lot faster, but it doesn't mean that they will spend the money wisely. So the only answer to that solution is transparency. All of this data has to be put out on the internet, on other media as well, so that everybody has access to it. So that's what we have done. All our systems are internet enabled. We do not build thick client products so that there is no data capture. And in fact, if you go to our website in our cities, you will see that pretty much all the data, whether it's financial accounting, whether you want ward-wise incomes and expenditure, or you want public grievance data by city or at ward level and so on, are on the internet. And of course, media picks it up and puts it on and so on. So it's an internet-based architecture. Like I said, the client is only the browser. We do not build any other client. And it's a layered architecture, pretty much using open standards and open source tools. Okay, we have largely, if you look at the bottom 3 layers, they are what we call a municipal e-governance platform that we have built. They're based on open source tools: JBoss, Tomcat, Apache, Hibernate, Struts, and so on for the techno-curious here. And they all work wonderfully. MCD is the second largest municipality in the world, and it works great. 2 2 million vouchers a year on the financial accounting system. It's holding out pretty well. So our stack is pretty much open source. So when we say free, we actually mean free. It doesn't mean it's free, but then go buy $1 million worth of other systems, okay, which would defeat the purpose. I think we sort of went through that, went through this as well, open source tools. Standards, somebody brought it up earlier, I think in the earlier session, very important. Wherever there are standards, we have gravitated towards those. eGov Financials, our accrual accounting product, runs on the National Municipal Accounting Manual that came out of CAG and the MOUD. And I think it's very important to gravitate towards standards because you need to build a cottage industry of companies that can, supply these kind of products, standard implementations. We have worked with the Registrar General of India for 3 years, who's also the Census Director. We have come up with certain standards on the civil registration system. It's now running in about 12 cities with complete online registration of births and deaths from hospitals and so on and so forth. You can also order your birth certificates online. eGov Property Tax, like I mentioned, it's a very good system. In fact, I demonstrated this in the United States in San Diego 3 years ago. And many city managers there wanted the system we have built because they don't have this with GIS support and so on. So we have a lot of clients right now, like I said, some 75 odd cities in 5 states. The Karnataka project is actually especially noteworthy in that we've taken our entire end-to-end engagement with the Urban Development Department of the state of Karnataka. We have implemented all these products for 57 cities. Talking about government process reengineering. Government process reengineering is a nice buzzword, but very important. When you see computerization done without process reengineering, you actually might actually do damage. And in fact, I've seen 1 or 2 projects. I don't have the time to go over those in detail. So this is actually our process for property tax and GIS. I'm not going to go into the details again, but suffice it to say that if you want to see a quantum leap in efficiency, you're not going to get that out of computer technology alone. You have to re-engineer your processes. Of course, you need monitoring processes. We have some bunch of monitoring processes. So there's some significant achievements of ours. So here are some snapshots of the products. I want to show you guys in Delhi, this is our GIS product, which is internet-enabled. You will be able to spot your property on the ground. This is much more detailed than Google Maps. Google shows you streets. We show you properties with property IDs. You click on those properties, you will actually see your property details. And this is open for everybody to see because that's the law of the land. It's public record. And of course, the revenue officials try to improve their collections as well. So the MIS and GIS are linked. We link them using something called the property ID. So unique numbering of streets and properties is absolutely necessary. Okay, this project is going on in 57 cities across Karnataka, and it's pretty much done, the GIS portion as well. So on the grievance monitoring system, some interesting data. This is the one that's running in Delhi, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, mcdonline.gov.in. And it shows, if you go to the website, it will show you in real time which are the departments and how many complaints they have. And I'll take the case in point, CSC, the sanitation department, bottom right, yellow, shows you 28% of complaints came to the sanitation department. The next one was engineering with 25%. So the very next question is what kind of complaints within sanitation, which is exactly the kind of report we have. It actually tells you waterlogging was the #1 problem of Delhi. Okay? In the sort of cacophony of democracy where everybody has an opinion about what their pet problem is, you need to figure out what are the key issues of the city. And this product is telling you, day after day collecting data, telling you what the #1 problem is. And if you looked at the newspaper reports around the same time that I made this slide, Delhi didn't have water. UP wouldn't refuse to give water to you guys. And what were people saying? Water's on the street. So not on the taps, but it's logging on the streets, right? So we need decision-making products that are not only redressing individual products, but individual complaints, but they're also looking at trends of the city. Where are what kind of problems are happening in largest number? Where are those problems concentrated? Okay, yes, everybody knows you have to desilt before monsoon, but do you have enough people to desilt the whole city's drains? You don't. You've got to figure out where those drains are which cause problems. And this product tells you that. And it's interesting that we built this for urban local bodies, and now Delhi Transco uses this, and Haryana Transmission Corporation uses it, and so on. because it has certain elements that are extremely attractive to them. It does auto-routing of complaints to the appropriate person. It will do SMS integration. It will give you a complaint tracking number if you register a complaint and so on. It also gives you a GIS map in real time, exactly where complaints are. If you click the zone, it will give you a ward map with complaint distribution, color-graded, right? Go and check it out at the mcdonline.gov.in. You will see this in real time. Okay, so that's something I just wanted to show you because we are doing this presentation in Delhi. More snapshots of our financial product. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you.